Welcome to the Prophecy Club. I've got, by the way, thank you for sending in your emails to me with information. A lot of what I get comes from you. You are my best source. I got a lot to share with you today. Hopefully you can stay with us to the end because it's really important. Thank you again for sending it in. Okay, so I've got death with the dollar, food shortages, and also war coming on America. Now, let me just start with a brand new promo here. We are offering a way for you to have, in case your electricity goes down. As you know, there's been a lot of prophecies saying that the grid is going to go down. Well, grid.com, I'll try it again, griddown.com has offered a battery system. And to tell you the truth, I've been looking for something like this for a long time, which is when I first got involved with the solar. I actually bought several things that were wrong for me to buy. So let me just briefly explain. Solar panels have a weakness. In other words, if there's no sun, no power. Cloudy or a cloudy day, and you're going to have a dark night. Generator. They don't tell you this, but a lot of the generators are not actually powerful enough so that it will actually turn on your air conditioner because it pulls a lot of electricity the first few milliseconds. Also, there's a problem with the battery, and that is if you don't have power to put it in, you can't get it out. Grid Down is offering a battery system, which is, in my opinion, a very good place to start, and Prophecy Club has arranged for you to get a 7% discount if you'll go to griddown.com, put in the promo code PROPHECY, a 7% discount, and griddown.com will explain all of it to you. If you want to get the ideal system, in my opinion, you want to get solar panels, generator, and battery, and for that I'll send you to solarsurge.net, solarsurge.net. All right. Here's Grid Down, and I'll ask you to just pause and read more about it if you're interested. Let me move on, though. Okay, death of the dollar. Bank of America insiders are selling $14 million in stock. So what do they know that you don't know? And I like this shirt. I'm a bomb technician. If you see me running, try and keep up. Well, so if you are one of the insiders at Bank of America and you're selling stock, that might mean that we might want to start getting out of it too. And of course, maybe we don't own stock in Bank of America, but maybe we do have an account or maybe several accounts in Bank of America. And for that, I'll send you over to cornerstoneassetmetals.com. They can give you financial advice. Anyway, the article goes on to say, when multiple insiders sell stock over a specific duration, stockholders and banking customers should take notice, as that could possibly be a red flag, a big warning. Over the last year, the biggest insider sale was by the president of Global Corporate and Investment Banking, Matthew Coder, for some $7.7 million worth of shares. The last 3 months saw significant insider trading at Bank of America. In total, the president dumped $2.4 million worth in shares. The last year, Bank of America insiders didn't buy any company stock. In other words, something going on. Something going on. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com can give you some good advice. This is what was in the article. If you look here, you can see a lot of problems could be coming to Bank of America. Just take a second and just look at that. Insiders sold stock recently, but they haven't been buying. Obviously, there's a problem. So I suggest also you go to josephkitchen.com. So let me explain this. There's a time when offering a loaf of bread won't get you a tank of gasoline, but a gold and silver coin will. There's a time when that gold coin might buy your freedom to get on a plane to another nation. But you don't want to pull up to get gasoline with a gold coin that's worth $2,000. Instead, that's where you want to have a silver coin. So cornerstoneassetmetals.com is good there. However, Joseph Kitchen is for food. Now, I'm about to get into a lot of food shortages, But let me just say, essentially what you want to do is go to josephkitchen.com. You want to order a machine package. That's all of the mechanicals to make the bread. Then you decide whether you want food for one person, two person, 4 people, 6 people for a year. Most of the other emergency food places are $9,000 to feed one person for 1 year. Joseph Kitchen can show you how to do it for about $1,000 a person. As far as I know, nobody is competing with their prices, and in my opinion, the good quality food that you make with whole wheat bread. As a matter of fact, I'm about to go get me a slice for lunch now. Okay, so on to the death of the dollar. The U.S. Sun is reporting Bye Bye Baby is closing 120 locations, and they're not the only one. Party City is closing 850 locations. There's more. Buffalo Wild Wings is closing a bunch of them, as is Christmas Tree Shops. I'm not familiar with those, nevertheless. Many of those are closing. So also, major bank with 2,600 locations is to close 29 branches this month. Can you see the handwriting on the wall? Can you see where we're going? America's in deep trouble with our finances. Also, I do not think this is the mark of the beast, but I do think it's a major step getting us closer. So Whole Foods now is offering you, we've covered this before, you can scan your palm and pay. Oh, isn't that wonderful? And I saw a video on this. This lady said, isn't that so cool? And they're going to be the first ones to take the mark of the beast, which, by the way, my book, Miss the Mark, has sold so much. We're almost sold out. I am placing an order today to print another 10,000 of them. So that's a good thing. All right, anyway. Moody's lowers credit ratings for 10 banks and issues negative outlook on 11 others. Done quietly overnight. Now, what's going on? So Moody's is a credit rating place, and if they say the banks are in trouble, yeah, they're in real trouble. Moody's Investor Service lowered credit ratings for 10 small and medium-sized U.S. banks. Done quietly overnight. Firms that had ratings cut included, and you should pause and you should read through the list of banks that are in trouble. And if your bank is one of them, again, my suggestion, call cornerstoneassetmetals.com and say, oh no, what do I do? Take their advice. Here's some more banks. I'll just pause a second and let you read them. Bancorp, Regions Financial. If your bank is on the list, call cornerstoneassetmetals.com. Let's keep moving. Wells Fargo customers rage over missing deposits from bank accounts. I'd like to say this first time we heard this. It's not. I like to say it's only Wells Fargo that's having this problem, and it's not. Wells Fargo customers rage over deposits they made, in this case $4,000, that didn't show up in their account. Now, Wells Fargo made it good, but the point is it's not the first time, it's not the first bank. I'm saying the mudslide is on the way. July 25, 2010. Leslie had a dream. She says, we were watching a mudslide in progress, and that mudslide has now started. Some houses had already fallen. We began going from house to house shouting. That's what I'm doing right now. You're on the edge. If you don't want to fall in the mudslide, you have to balance your house. That's what I'm doing right now. If you don't want to fall in the mudslide, you have to balance your house. You must stop standing on the edge and hanging over, and only a few houses remain standing. Obviously, he's talking about their financial house. The scene changed. We were on a boat floating in mud. In other words, the Prophecy Club is in a boat, but that mud, that filth of the world, is not touching it. There were already fish everywhere in our boat. There were already people that had received Jesus, and I don't know, somewhere around 20,000 possibly have come to the Lord through Prophecy Club over there. 25 years, been going 30 years. Suddenly, fish from all directions began jumping out of the mud, the world of sin, into our boat, receiving Jesus. Among them were several large fish, and I was holding a very unusual-looking fish that looks like a skinned cat. Stan said, "What's that?" I said, "It's a fish if you can't see." "Well, why is this so strange looking?" "I'd never seen a fish like that before," Leslie said. "This fish looks like a chicken with the skin peeled off, because they have nothing to protect them now. They're jumping into the boat of Jesus when their financial houses fell in the mudslide. In other words, this mudslide is now in progress. I strongly urge you to take precaution, take steps to get ready. The mudslide is the financial fall of our nation. By Gus going house to house, warning the people to get balanced, is telling us people we should get prepared, as I'm doing right now. Warning them to get their house in order as a big financial problem is on the way. The strange-looking fish were non-believers. They came out of the world of sin, now choosing to follow Christ, jumping into our boat of Jesus. They had all their wealth protection cover all stripped away. It shows their nakedness. They were counting on the world. They were counting on their wealth, which went away, and the prophecies say it happens overnight. Now let's talk about war in America. China, Russia send naval warships near Alaska, triggering forceful U.S. response. Oh, my guess is you didn't hear this anyplace because they don't want you to know that there's a problem, that we are nearing war. They don't want you to know that. They want you to stay asleep. The joint operation consisted of 11 ships near Alaska's southwestern coast. The U.S. sent 4 destroyers to chase them away. The U.S. also sent P-8 Poseidon aircraft to shatter the Chinese and Russian ships away from the Alaskan coast. Probably didn't hear this on the news. The American response was better this time than the one in the past. Next article. The U.S. prepares to flee Ukraine. Now, you ain't heard this one either. So apparently, we're about done with this whole thing with Ukraine, according to this source, which sounded very well informed, I might say. He said they're silent, they're fast, and they're accurate, and they're impossible to detect and overcome. What's he talking about? Russian electronic warfare systems that are defeating what NATO and America is sending to attack Russia by Ukraine. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but Ukraine is about to fall. And just about everything NATO and America has sent to defeat the Russians have defeated it. Much of it's defeated with electronic warfare, and this article, I thought, did a fantastic job of showing you exactly what is happening, and I never heard it from any other place. Anyway, Russia was considered the most advanced country in the field of creating modern electronic warfare systems. Russia is considered to be the birthplace of the most powerful and effective electronic warfare system for the season. Now, what they say is that we, for example, launch our radar and our EPS-guided missiles that never make their targets. Like 19 out of 20 are not making their target. Why? Because Russia is defeating the GPS tracking, the GPS guidance system. Just about everything NATO and America is throwing at Russia, Russia is defeating it. And Russia has just about totally taken Ukraine, according to several other sources. Let's move on. North Korea leader Kim tours weapons factories and vows to advance his arms and his warfare readiness. You know, America ought to be paying attention. Now, maybe our military leaders are, but our news media and our government apparently is not. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un toured the country's key weapons factories, including producing artillery systems and launch vehicles for nuclear-capable ballistic missiles, and pledged to speed up such efforts as the United States and South Korea prepared for the next round of combined military exercises. In other words, everything is saying that America is not paying attention, America is not getting prepared. Tensions on the Korean Peninsula are at their highest level in years, as the pace of North Korea's missile tests and joint U.S.-South Korea military drills, which Kim portrays as invasion rehearsals, which they are, but he is also ready to go too, have both intensified in a tit-for-tat cycle. Now, I'm not going to read all of this. I read it here a few weeks back. Vicky Goforth Parnell had a vision. And I'm not going to read this first page. You can pause and read it. Matter of fact, I'd suggest you go back and read the whole thing, or listen to me read the whole thing last. But the point I want to get to is this. Kim's face was serious as he said quickly, I promised the United States a Christmas gift. My gift is late. Late gift can be sent at any time. My requirement, he's saying, my requirement to join Russia in the attack on America is this, that North Korea gets to turn and their turn at unleashing our nuclear weapons upon American soil during the strikes before the invasion. If this requirement is met, then I will verbally agree to your coalition to join Russia in attacking America. And I will sign it the moment you make your first strike. In other words, once Russia strikes America, North Korea will sign and join the coalition and immediately launch nuclear weapons themselves, as Vicky Goforth Parnell has seen in another vision. Okay, now let's go to food shortage. As I said, I've got lots of information. All right, so Tyson Foods is scheduled to shut 4 more U.S. chicken plants. Now, I do not know who owns Tyson Foods. Maybe they're good people. My guess is, though, that if they don't own it, they're at least controlling, I'm talking about Moloch, at least controlling Tyson Foods, because if you own it, you can shut it down. Of course, you may be saying, yeah, well, they won't be making money if they shut it down. You have to understand, they don't care. They got all the money anyway. Their objective is to take America down, to force all people to take the mark of the beast, and if they have to do that by shutting off the food, that's exactly what they'll do. Remember, Henry Kissinger said, he who controls food controls the people. He who controls energy can control whole continents. But he who controls money can control the whole world, as in the mark of the beast. That's where they're going. The article says Tyson Foods, and by the way, I'm not beating up on Tyson Foods. They're probably a good company. I guess I bought a lot of Tyson chicken myself. Tyson Foods said on Monday it is closing 4 more U.S. chicken plants in its latest effort to cut costs. Is it really to cut costs, or is it taking away our food? My guess is taking away our food. It said it would move the work performed in the plants to newer facilities that are closer to its customers. If that's true, that's a good idea, and we wouldn't blame them. But what if it's really to put a squeeze on people's food? Tyson in May closed 2 other chicken plants with almost 1,700 employees. And in April, Tyson said it would eliminate about 10% of the corporate jobs and 15% of the senior leadership roles. Okay, well, maybe all that's fine. Maybe there's more to it. Look at the next article. Smithfield Foods to close 35 Missouri hog farms. The world's largest pork producer, Smithfield Foods, is closing 35 hog farms. If they weren't making enough money, these companies could just raise the price and would raise the price. So it makes me think that there's something else they're doing. Smithfield is owned by Hong Kong's WH Group. So it may be that we're already being attacked by China. Tyson Foods also announced its closure of 4 more chicken plants in Arkansas and 3,000 jobs gone. There is more. Associated Wholesale Grocers prepares to close a distribution facility in Tennessee and Mississippi. So they're shutting down the source of our food. They're shutting down our distribution of the food. So, my brothers and sisters, it would be a smart thing if you make certain that you have your own food, and in my opinion, the best long-term storage food is go to Joseph Kitchen, and you get your own mechanicals to make your own bread, as I do, and then you get your own wheat berries stored, which is infused with, not hydrogen. Gosh, what's the name of it? I got to remember. I'm starting to lose some of my nitrogen, which is infused with nitrogen, and we don't know exactly how long it's going to last, but a lot of people say 25 years or more. So it's long-term emergency food that's actually good for you. It's what the world lived on during the 7 years of famine in the days of the pyramid and Joseph and the Pharaoh. So let me remind you, matter of fact, let me remind you, this is the order of active prophecies. We have 33 of them saying that there's suitcase nukes coming. 17 saying an earthquake. 14 say a food shortage. 11 say the dollar is going to fall. 7, a surprise nuclear attack by Russia. And 2 say no gasoline. Now, for these, for the dollar, we'll recommend you go to cornerstoneassetmetals.com. Food shortage, Joseph Kitchen. Earthquake, Joseph Kitchen. Promo code Prophecy Club, get you a discount in there someplace. Also, EMP Shield, to get you one of these devices. I have one right here. Put it on your car, red to the red, black to the black, green to the body of your car. Peel this off, stick it under the hood. Takes about 10 minutes. They have videos show you how to do it. Takes about 10 minutes to put it on. I have one in my car and also on our house. So that suitcase nukes go off. Hopefully it's not going to fry the computer chips in your house. And 7, surprise nuclear attack. I also want to remind you, several years back we had the missionary Daniel Davis come and speak to us. He had had 3 dreams. This is part of the dreams that's important as we're relating today. He said, in the dream I saw a man look like a government official appeared on big screens and went to a microphone and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. America, as you have known it, has ceased to exist." Now, I don't know if that's because we got merged into a North American, Mexico, Canada, America situation. I don't know if that's because we got split. I don't know if that's because we surrendered in a war. I don't know. I don't like it, but that's what it said. 2, all property lines have been dissolved and the U.S. dollar is worthless. We've got, 11 prophecies say the dollar is going to be worthless as leaves blowing in the wind. Then we have Chris Reed, and I've been going by this real fast, but this is really, really, really important because it gives us an overview and kind of an order where these things are going to start happening. So, March 25th, 2022, Chris Reed had this dream. And he saw an angel standing in front of him, had a $50 bill, and a third of it was torn off. Then people started handing him newspaper headlines. I believe it's of God. First headline, U.S. dollar drops 30% in value. Other prophecies have seen that happens overnight. Jason Meeks said he pulled in and got some money out of an ATM, wanted to get some more money, realized he didn't get enough, and all of a sudden everything had changed just that quick. And it may happen in April or September, August or September. And the subtitle said, Middle Eastern oil strikes deal with China instead of the U.S. If you've been following Prophecy Club, you already know that there's been other prophecies that have said exactly the same thing. The Bible says in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established. So in my opinion, that's established. There is no question that is coming. By the way, if you want to be a part of trying to pray that away, then you go to prophecyclub.com, slide to the bottom, sign up to become a Fast Track member to pray for Prophecy Club or a Fast Gap member to pray for America. And while you're there, get you some books. Also, we're asking people to join Prophecy Club by an automatic gift of $9.90, which you can click that QR code right there at the bottom, and it'll explain everything for you. Perfect storm, next headline. Subtitle, inflation reaches new high. Why? Because the dollar starts losing its value. Then he saw a food shortage crisis as wheat bread imports are at a stalemate. Notice it said wheat and bread. I'm telling you. I'm a watchman. You're a watchman. You should listen to other watchmen. I'm begging you. Go to josephkitchen.com. Get yourself some food, and when you get it, don't just stock it away someplace. Start making bread. It's good for you. You'll love it. It's got to where it's the primary thing I eat. I have bread almost every day, generally 2 slices. Matter of fact, I'm about to go play racquetball today, and I'm about to eat another slice of Joseph Kitchen bread that I made. Riots and civil unrest as citizens demand entitlement checks. Remember, Shane Warren said that he saw signs holding up, we want our entitlements. He didn't know Chris. These guys didn't get together. Shane Warren saw this back in 2010. This guy saw it in 2022, 12 years apart, yet they saw the same thing. And by the way, if you are a watchman, and by the way, if you're watching this far, you are, if you're a watchman, then Ezekiel 33:6 says that you better be watching, or you better be warning your fellow brothers and sisters. And to do that, you need to send this out. Copy the link, email it to your brothers and sisters, your friends, email it to people, maybe some of them you don't even like. But you want to warn them. Let them get this warning. Next one is Israel and Palestinian two-state solution reached. Well, Leslie saw the newspaper headline that says Omer ushers in Palestinian state. So we have two newspaper headlines here, both talking about the same event. Then America in Pieces, subtitled More States Secede from the Nation. That's as in America gets split. U.S. military takes charge as uncertainty looms. I believe that's the internal revolution. Brothers and sisters, you got to start getting ready. You got to start getting ready. And I suggest this. Go to josephkitchen.com to get food. Cornerstone Asset Metals to get precious metals. EMP Shield, use the promo code Prophecy, get you a $50 discount. Prophecyclub.com for your DVDs, for your books, also to join and become a member of the Prophecy Club, $9.90 a month or more. And also go to watchprophecyclub.com if you want to watch some 300 DVDs that we made over 25 years. A lot of this stuff you're hearing now, we made DVDs on it 20, 25 years ago. Go visit watchprophecyclub.com. Go check it out. Now, this is the offer that I suggest you get. Each one of these 5 DVDs, 2.5 hours each about, used to be offered for $30. Right now, you can get all 5 of them at prophecyclub.com. The DVDs for a gift of $100. But the better deal would be for you to go to to Watch Prophecy Club right here, watchprophecyclub.com. If you'll enter the promo code TPC 2023, you'll get the first month free. Means you can watch all 5 of these for free. What a deal, huh? And a better deal. Go to the TPC 2023 with a Y at the end. You get a $20 off on the normal $200 annual plan. That's the best deal. This is like $6,000 or $7,000 worth of DVDs. Took us 25 years to make them, all at watchprophecyclub.com. Did you get that? Watch instantly at watchprophecyclub.com. What is wrong with this? You say, well, it's a piece of bread. You're right. It's a piece of bread I took out of this loaf. This loaf is a 1-pound loaf, and there's something missing from this bread. Even though it says it is whole wheat, there's still something missing from this and almost all of the bread you're eating. See, the story was in 1860, the smart humans decided that they were going to outstrip God and that they could figure out a way to where the flour would not spoil, because once you break the wheat berry, then it begins to spoil, and in 7 to 10 days, it's got mold. So they figured out how they could be smarter than God. We're going to take out the outside shell and then the wheat germ. We're only going to use the white powder part of the wheat. And that doesn't spoil. And they're right. You can put it in a bag. 5 years later, it's still there. But then, of course, there's something else they removed. And that is most. Now, not all, but most of the nutrition. So then they had to pass all of these laws saying you got to put niacin, you got to put vitamins, you got to do this, put all of this into the... So why not just use what God made? So the difference between this and what I made is this. That's the difference in my bread, whole wheat bread, versus what you buy in the store. The bigger slice here, this is actually cherry, cinnamon, honey, and vanilla mixed together. And I made this. So when you make your own homemade bread, you can make it flavor any way. You want jalapeno, you got it. You want to have seeds, sesame seeds, however you want to, you can make it. But the big advantage to making your own whole wheat bread is that it's probably the cheapest way to have long-term storage food, because most of your long-term storage food companies cost $9,000 to $10,000 per person per year. But at Joseph's Kitchen, they can show you how to feed your family for about $1,000 per person per year, and it's whole wheat. Okay, so what is whole wheat over the regular wheat? Well, you remember the 7 years of plenty followed by the 7 years of famine of Joseph and the Pharaoh. Well, that meant that the whole world lived off of wheat for 7 years. Now, I don't think that maybe Jesus said, man should not live by bread alone, meaning you should have other things that you should eat. However, about the closest thing out there that'll feed you not only good tasting, but also nutrition for your body is wheat. And so we recommend you go to josephskitchen.com. When you go there, you got to get 2 things. One is you have to get a machine package. That's the items that you need to actually physically make the bread. It's a wheat grinder where you put the wheat in. 30 seconds later, you have flour. You put it into a bread machine with 6 other ingredients. Push a button, 2 hours, 20 minutes later, you have a nice, hot, steaming loaf of wonderful that you made whole wheat bread. Slice that up. The slicer is even included. The beakers, it's everything you need to make bread. Then you decide how much food you want to have. You want to have food for 6 people 1 year, 4 people 1 year, 2 people 1 year. You place your order, and they have it in stock. Because most of these long-term storage food places, they're out. Some of them are 2 or 3 months. Some of them are even longer behind in filling their orders. But at Joseph's Kitchen, they can ship within 2 or 3 days. And they ship around the world. Go to josephskitchen.com. I'm telling you that the prophecies say there's about to be a food shortage. And if you want to listen to what God's trying to warn us about, then you'll get this long-term storage food. Terry Saka with CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. So what's going on in the world of finances? Why should they call today?
Well, China has laid out in a speech a few weeks ago exactly what they think of the United States. I haven't seen that in my 55 years. With China and Russia forming these reserve currencies, new reserve currency, we better be prepared because that dollar is going to be in deep trouble and we're going to need assets to protect us from it.
CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. Call them or go online, CornerstoneAssetMetals.com, or call them at 888-747-3309. 888-747-3309. Secret door to understand Bible prophecy. It will help you to understand. It's not complicated, but it is deep, because to understand Bible prophecy, well, let's put it this way. I wish I had had the book 30 years ago. It would have helped me understand Bible prophecy. It would have put so many misunderstandings that I have had through the years in place. Matter of fact, when I started getting these 30 revelations, because I memorized the book of Revelation, I learned a lot. I learned a lot I did not know. I think I went to school with Jesus, and I don't think I'm something special. Matter of fact, I don't even think it came because I memorized the book of Revelation. I think you're something special. I think he gave the book to his end-time saints, his end-time watchmen, so that you can explain to people, so you can be a part of the great move of God, the great harvest, the thousands upon thousands of souls that are about to come to Jesus. And if you want to share in that harvest, you need to be able to explain Bible prophecy. And the Holy Spirit is not going to put up with you teaching a bunch of errors. You got to know what you got to know. And that is, you got to kick out that idea thinking that there's going to be a pre-trib rapture. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's other things, you got to learn. And this is the reason I think he gave the book. Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, prophecyclub.com. prophecyclub.com.